Ladies and gentlemen, today, analyzing NIO, Tesla, QQQ, and market insights, providing guidance and predictions with a cautious outlook. I will attempt to explain what's happening with NIO, Tesla, QQQ, and a few other tickers in the market. I'll briefly discuss what's going on in the market and then talk about the chances for tomorrow when I provide my price predictions. However, before diving into this information in more detail, I would like to note a few things. Now, let's talk about what's happening in the market. As of last Friday, NIO had seen growth of around 0.36% during the day. But the question is, how will NIO move in the future? So far, I haven't seen any major news specifically for NIO, but there has been some news that the Chinese government is investing in stimulus to boost the economy and support the stock market. This could have a positive impact on NIO. Additionally, over the weekend, there were some more news updates, but as for NIO, it seems to align with what I discussed yesterday. Now, I want to focus on the technical perspective and some other market news that could still influence NIO. For the broader market, about an hour before the market opens, manufacturing data will be released. The New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, which isn't particularly significant. Additionally, Harker is giving two speeches, with the first one coming an hour after the market opens, so we'll see what he has to say. If this leads to volatility or anything else, we'll have to handle it patiently. When it comes to earnings, I just want to mention that Charles Schwab is set to announce their earnings on Monday. After the market closes, more banks will report their earnings. Whatever happens with Charles Schwab could potentially help the market to some extent. And I just want to note that when banks announced their earnings on Friday, they outperformed expectations. Some of the expectations were quite low, which might hint at what could happen tomorrow. In my opinion, when expectations were so low and banks performed better than expected, the same might hold true for Charles Schwab, potentially offering some support to the market. We will closely monitor key resistance levels for tomorrow, which will be crucial. So, I'd like to discuss that sooner rather than later. It's better that we stay cautious. Anyways, I want to discuss more. Let's talk about NIO, where we received almost 28 million in volume, which was slightly below average but not too bad overall. If we look at more data, we have a buy rating from Deutsche Bank, which is not bad. The price ratio is currently somewhat stable, not undergoing significant changes, and looking at seasonality data, we can see that we tend to be a bit weaker on Mondays, only about 49% of the time. So this is a near-term concern, nothing more. Along with that, I don't see any new updates in other data. I think the short sales data is about to be updated. With that, let's talk about the technicals. How do the market's technicals look? And the Chinese government is trying to control NIO stock market, so there might be a chance for a small rebound in NIO because a possible inverse shoulders pattern is developing with a left shoulder and a head. NIO might dip a bit in pre-market and then start moving towards 9.1 because the market might try for a temporary bounce, but it doesn't mean NIO will bounce indefinitely. It also doesn't mean that NIO can't be rejected in the low nines. But I believe a small rebound is coming, and it's tied to the broader market. Here's why I'm saying this. When you look at Tesla, you can say that Tesla is somewhat like these other stocks. There's a possible left shoulder and a head developing, and if we get a bounce from this support, a right shoulder could also form. But I just want to say that when you look at Tesla, you can say that when you go to Tesla chart, you might see a slanted head and shoulders too. Right now, I don't want to focus on that. What's more important is what happens with Tesla earnings and such matters. I just want to say that Tesla was on a small channel, and there might be a chance for a bounce from here because when you look at the chart, we have a minor bullish divergence. This makes me think that Tesla might attempt to bounce around its earnings, but it doesn't mean Tesla will turn bullish forever. So if Tesla bounces until Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday, it could pump around its earnings. This often happens, but what will happen after the earnings, no one knows. There could be a rug pull. So you need to be very cautious. You need to pay a lot of attention to this. It could form a head and shoulders, leading to a significant drop after earnings. We'll have to see what happens, and I'm just thinking of presenting this possibility and warning everyone to be prepared. However, before any rug pulls or earnings come into play, Tesla might see some temporary upside in the market alongside SPY. Okay, concerning SPY, we can observe a small bounce, as we are in a channel that clearly shows a downtrend. But if you look at SPY, we could come to this support level. It doesn't have to go much lower. Then we might see a rebound towards 433, which I think is possible. We'll have to see if SPY can break it or not. So let's see what kind of rejection happens. For now, it seems like we'll see a small rebound, but it could also fail. I'm just warning you. This could happen. I'm just letting you know it could also fail. It could try. I'm just alerting you for tomorrow. The same things could happen for QQQ. Look for a small rebound, but there's no guarantee it will stay. Be very careful with this channel on QQQ. If it gets rejected from this trend line, I don't know. It depends on the timing when we reach this trend line. It could be quite close to the 367 area. Watch carefully and see if it gets rejected or not. If it gets rejected, I will turn bearish. But if it breaks it, it can attempt to return to this imbalance, like right here. Okay, if it can break this trend line, it can try to reach this area. But we still don't know what will happen. So you'll have to be patient and see. For Nvidia stock too, it's doing something similar. You'll have to see if it can attempt a rebound from this trend line. We're still near this trend line. I can't call it a break yet. You should go and see if Nvidia can do it or not. Then it could also fail. Maybe it should test this support again, this area around 461 near this trend line, and then reject it and start a sell-off. So go watch it very carefully to see if it gets rejected or not. But this will be very crucial for tomorrow. And finally, for Apple, something else was developing here. Apple looks a bit weak and is experiencing a sell-off. I just want to mention very carefully that Apple seems to be looking in this direction, possibly developing a head and shoulders pattern. It seems that Apple is heading further down. It could come down a bit more to around 178 to 177.52 and then attempt a rebound. But here, a possible head and shoulders pattern is developing. This could be the head. This could be the left shoulder. This could form the right shoulder. So we'll see what Apple does. Just a little bounce up on Monday, like to around 179.52. If there's a rejection here, we could create a head and shoulders pattern for Apple, and there are chances for Apple to go further down in the next week or more. So I just want to alert you about this. This might play out for Apple. All right? So we're looking at these levels. But the bottom line is that there's something common in the market, and that is that before something major happens, we might see a small rebound. That's why I believe NIO will try to balance, especially with the news about Chinese government funding. So I think NIO will likely attempt to create an inverse head and shoulders. As I mentioned, I believe that SPY and QQQ will help NIO, and NIO will try to reach above 8.48. If both of them break tomorrow, which I think they can, we should look towards this imbalance, around the 8.9 to 9.1 area. I think it could be around $9. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing, and see you in the next video.